The Center for Unhindered Living presents Plus Size Polyamory with Judy McMath, where our motto is, don't follow the crowd, follow your heart. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 15, Plus Size Dating and the Imposter Syndrome. Hope you're all having a really great day so far. Holidays are over, and I hope that we can get on with our lives and have a great time. Now, if you're a plus-size person and you live in this Western culture, you probably have spent a lot of time being put down by other people and feeling bad about yourself. You've probably struggled with feelings of inferiority and unworthiness. Even though you know these feelings don't represent reality, you can't help but be affected by them. Then something wonderful happens. You find a partner who thinks you're beautiful, tells you you're beautiful, loves to touch you, and makes you feel good about yourself. So everything's cool, right? Some people in this situation may experience what we call the imposter syndrome. That's what we are going to talk about today. But first, I'd like to ask you to become a patron of our show. If you found something of value in our work, you can pledge as little as $1 a month and get access to some neat patron benefits. Just click on the Become a Patron button at the bottom of the podcast page or go to patron.podbean.com/pspolyamory, and thanks for your support. Imposter syndrome is a negative thought pattern brought about by thinking the same thoughts over and over again. It can happen in any area of life, relationships, your job, your very identity. It happens when you feel unworthy, or when you believe that you've got everyone fooled and that you're not really the wonderful person they think you are. It most often is accompanied by feelings that you don't deserve that promotion at work or that great relationship, and that given enough time, your employer or your romantic partner will figure out that you're a fraud. And in extreme cases, you may even sabotage your career or your relationship because it's too uncomfortable to believe that you're worthy. Now, some of the symptoms of imposter syndrome are you doubt yourself often and always want to have someone else give their opinion of your decisions. You have a lot of difficulty owning your accomplishments as you attribute any success you have to external factors, something or someone outside yourself, like I just got lucky, or we did so well on that project because Arthur was running it. I'm not really a good mom. I've got a lot of help. You obsess and agonize over even the smallest mistakes you make. You feel undeserving of your job or your relationship. You think things are too good to be true. You're fearful that not living up to the expectations of others, you either overachieve or opt out completely. You've been told that you sabotage things when they're going well at work or at home. You think that others will eventually find out you're a fraud. You don't think you've done or accomplished enough. You're overly concerned with what other people think of you, and you're constantly looking for their approval. If you're not validated and approved by others, you don't feel good about yourself or what you've done. You think thoughts like, he deserves better than me, or I'm not good enough for her. If you wonder whether you might have imposter syndrome, there's a little test you can take online to find out. I'll put that link to the test down in the show notes below. It's called the Chance IP Scale, and it's 20 questions. Now, in 1978, psychologists Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes wrote a paper about high-achieving women who felt like they were phonies at work. These women had an underlying belief that they had somehow fooled their bosses and colleagues into believing that they were intelligent, but inside they felt they hadn't really earned their status at work and had just gotten lucky. They felt unworthy and anxious that they'd be discovered. Clance and Imes called it the imposter phenomenon, and it's since later been renamed the imposter syndrome. But it applies to anyone who feels like a fake anywhere in their life. Now, how can imposter syndrome be affecting your relationships? First of all, it can cause you to doubt that others are sincere, and you may find it hard to trust those in your life. You may sabotage your relationships rather than possibly be abandoned, rejected, or fired. Deep down, you believe you're not good enough for your partner or that they can do better than you, so your subconscious drives your thoughts and actions. You overthink everything and start seeing things that aren't even there. Because you're constantly looking for outside validation to feel good about yourself, and because those outside assurances are never enough, you end up feeling angry, resentful, and blaming those around you for your problems. Your internal dialogue becomes very focused on others being the issue about why you're not happy or succeeding. And you find yourself preoccupied with what others are doing instead of looking at your own behavior. And last, you might settle. Settle for a job that's not really what you want, or a job that's below your skill level, or you might settle for an abusive partner, or someone who's obviously below your intellectual level. All because you don't believe you're good enough. Now, how do you overcome this? First of all, ladies, you've got to put your self-confidence on display. And if you're not confident, well, the old adage, fake it till you make it, is really true. At first, you may feel like you're just an actor playing a part on a stage, but that's okay. Find a role model, someone you admire, and act like her. It helps a lot that many companies are now using plus-size models to sell their products. They've finally realized there's a huge untapped demographic there. Seeing plus-size women walk down the street in beautiful clothes, going to important jobs, living valuable lives, you start to believe it's possible for you. You know, on my YouTube channel, I did a video on romance scams because I was the victim of a romance scam 12 or 13 years ago. And I'm not going to recount that story now. If you want to hear that, you can go to my channel and watch the video. Most of the comments on that video were very positive. People would say things like, "Thanks so much for sharing this information. You were so brave to talk about this," or whatever. But there was one person who commented and said, "How stupid could you be? You should have been smart enough to know that nobody is going to be interested in an overweight, unattractive grandmother." And I'm sorry, but I just lost it. That defiant streak rose up within me. If you tell me there's something I can't do, I'm going to do it just to prove you wrong. I said to this person, "Look, I have 4 lovers. 4. Now, are you telling me that all 4 of these guys are just being kind? That they don't really think I'm beautiful? That they have unlimited choices, and yet they chose me? They could have had anyone they wanted. How dare you make the judgment that somehow I am unworthy? Fuck you." And let me just say, I chose to stop at 4 because I don't think I can give adequate time and attention to more than 4 people. But I'm constantly approached by others who want my time and attention. You think all these men are just being kind? Think again. To be fair, they are kind, gentle, loving souls, or I wouldn't be with them. But to imply that they're just giving me pity sex? Now, I don't buy that. And the worst thing about this YouTube commenter was, she was a woman. Now, come on, ladies, let's stick together here. We need to support each other, not tear each other down. Ultimately, I removed her comment. I usually don't do that because I think having comments on both sides of an issue keeps things real. But I'm sorry, my channel, I can do what I want. So, as we've already mentioned, find a role model and fake it till you make it. But also, when people give you compliments, learn to just say thank you and let it be at that. Don't come back with self-deprecating comments like, "Oh, I'm not really all that pretty, but thanks." Or, "I just got lucky at that job." Or, "I'm not really as smart as you think I am." Just accept for a moment that you're actually beautiful, smart, and a great catch. Stop comparing yourself to others. Don't you think that conventionally beautiful women are insecure too? Just because they fit the ideal for beauty that our society holds doesn't mean that they aren't constantly also afraid that they're not good enough. Everyone is insecure. They're just good at hiding it. Find your voice. Speak up. You'll never feel self-confident if you're always silent. You can't be passive and build your self-esteem. Your thoughts and ideas are just as important as anyone else's. Find a way to express yourself. When you find yourself listening to that negative voice in your head, talk back. Don't allow that voice to be the only one in your head. Don't let it remain unchallenged. Listen, folks, if I can do this, anyone can do this. Figure out what special things you can bring to the table and focus on those strengths. Visit the Center for Unhindered Living's blog at unhindered-living.com. Join our Facebook page at facebook.com/unhinderedliving. Have something to say about this subject? Leave a comment. Join the discussion. Thanks for listening and have a great day. Currently, episodes of this podcast can be found on Spotify, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music, and Radio Public, as well as our YouTube channel. I hope you guys are going to have a great day today. Please check back tomorrow for our next episode. Love y'all.